take it easy. Take Wusa. Wusa. Okay, guys, we're talking Nisekoi. Now, this is going to be a spoiler discussion talking about the previous chapter and chapters beyond in the, you know, somewhere in the future here. A lot of people are freaking out. Even in my live reaction, I was like a little bit worried because... but I'm gonna this is basically a video about future plans in the Nisekoi, who I think is gonna be the end girl. So spoilers, you have been warned. Before I get to this discussion, I want to thank Izuya. You know, I always fuck up everybody's name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Izuya, Titan, and Nick K. Here's a shout out to Nick K. She has a great channel. You go check out her channel. She's very energetic and very entertaining, and she's a big Team Chitoge fan. So, you know, this discussion, the whole video is about basically why Raku will choose Chitoge and why the last previous chapter was actually a win for Chitoge. I believe it was Nisekoi 221. Now, listen. People are freaking out, but I'm not necessarily freaking out. After thinking about it and after, you know, just really dissecting a lot of the stuff, this is exactly if this was this is definitely a setup for Chitoge. This is a setup for Chitoge because so much has been happening develop wise for Chitoge and Raku to get together. I mean, and it wasn't even that long ago, and I think it was 199. Was it one? I believe it was 199, where Raku really expressed like he loves Chitoge. He feels so much different when he's with Chitoge than Onodera. That you have to take account to that. I mean, you got to realize that Raku only had eyes for Onodera. Even as kids in the last chapter has had eyes for only Onodera. Now, I'm not like, you know, bashing any Onodera Raku fans. This is what I just believe, and this is why I think that chapter was actually a win for Chitoge. You could say it was a win for Onodera if you want to, but this is my explaining why I think Chitoge, that was actually a win for Chitoge, writing-wise. Right? You got to realize that you have to put your mindset in the author's, how he is setting a lot of things up. Of course, he wants to do some twists. Of course, he wants to throw you some curveballs. And I think this was a curveball to make you presume that Raku is going to keep his promise and marry Onodera because she is the promise girl. Now, Izuya, your predictions have been on the money. I've also been saying that, listen, Onodera is probably going to be the promise girl, but Chitoge will probably be the end girl because, like I said, Raku has realized he's fully in love with Chitoge, and for the longest time he only had one, and that was Onodera. So when Chitoge comes into the picture, he actually has feelings, and as kids he never felt that way about Chitoge. As kids, he never felt that way. He just was really infatuated with Onodera. So this is a win for Chitoge because not only has he's only felt love for this one woman, but Chitoge has come into the picture. Now she did it right. All right, she did it right. I mean, I'm not saying that Onodera and Raku, that was like pretty much love at first sight, honestly, if you think about it. There was an attraction automatically there, and of course, who doesn't like Onodera? I still like Onodera, but Chitoge and Raku, they started off as pretty they start off hating each other, and that's usually what a lot of relationships kind of end up like. Sometimes relationships have like they don't like the person, but then along the lines they become friends with the person, and then along the lines they actually starting loving the person. They actually can't imagine doing anything without the person, not having them in their lives. So that Chitoge realized that first. And then Raku really realized that recently. So the author putting Raku and realizing his desire to be with Chitoge, the love that he has for Chitoge in a recent, only 10 chapters ago, that's something. That's not nothing. That's something. That's the development so late in the game is definitely that's really leaning, the teeter-totter leaning towards Chitoge. Onodera. So Onodera is not the only one that now is on Raku's mind. Now it's Chitoge. Like they're on the same level. I think they're even right now. But of course, Raku has made up his mind. Now, another thing I want to point out is that this is happening all over again. When they were kids, when we saw the flashback, how it was great. Here's the win part. The win was if Shitake didn't know anything about that promise, about if she didn't overhear Onodera or Raku, if the author didn't put that there, if the author didn't deliberately put Shitake overhearing Onodera and Raku and having that little secret little arrow and of Raku and Onodera and then them leaving together and then Onodera seeing what was on that rock. If the author didn't have Shitake deliberately there, then you are worried. Then you know that secret is only Onodera and Raku, and Shitake would have never knew, and then Shitake would end up being the promise girl. If Shitake was the promise girl, then you need to be worried because that means that she's the one that Raku would have to, that he made the promise to marry her, and then he would probably reject her and say, listen, I mean, Chitoge, you're the promise girl, I know I promised you, but honestly I'm in love with Onodera. That's how it's gonna be. But now that we know that Onodera is the promise girl, that's a win. And then going back to the rock thing, so Chitoge finding out about the rock and Onodera and Raku's little kind of moment there and a little secret little message there. And then Shitake giving the promise key and the locket to Onodera, because knowing that Raku does love Onodera and saying, take care of her, I'm going to kick your ass. This is the same thing. This is the setup. This is the same setup. This is the same thing that is happening right now. Shitake overhearing Raku with Shu. Leaving, telling Raku, you better make Onodera happy. I'm leaving. Bye. And then leaving, and then Raku tracking her down. I mean, this is the same thing that happened when they were kids. So this is not going to end. This is definitely not going to end the same way like when they were kids. Okay, we had Onodera and Raku running away hand in hand, saying, "I'm gonna marry you," this and that. No, actually, this is definitely such a win for Shitake because the same scenario is happening all over again, but it's not gonna play out the same. It's gonna be a twist. There's gonna be something different, and that difference is that Shitake is actually gonna be the one that Raku loves. You got to remember, Raku is definitely going after. Really wants to see Shitake first. He wants to express something. He wants to tell her something. I'm thinking that Onodera and Shitake are going to be the ones to interact with each other first before Raku gets involved. We have also the fact that, Shitake beating Raku's mother. Just so many things are playing in Shitake's favor. I just don't see it. I don't see Onodera coming on top of this. I don't see that chapter actually being an Onodera chapter. I see that as actually hurting Onodera's chances of being Raku, because I also stated that whoever was the promise girl and whoever laid their confession first was going to be rejected, and then the last person, of course, is going to be the winner. I like the little twist though when he said that. I forgot who said that. I gotta look at the comics. But I like the little twist. He's saying, what if Chitoge rejects Raku or Onodera rejects Raku? That'd be kind of crazy. But I don't see that happening. That would be pretty crazy. That would be kind of cool. I really do, because she kind of has rejected Raku. She's put aside her love for him to be with Onodera, but I don't think Raku feels that way anymore. I really don't think he feels that way anymore. He is so excited. A lot of the dialogue is directed towards Shitake when he's going to see Shitake. Like, there's a lot of things, and then when he's with Onodera, it's more of a calm presence where, like, thank you for helping me, Onodera. I'm going to Shitake. So it's definitely it definitely really feels like Shitake is the winner on this. And then you also got to remember that Shitake did overhear Onodera's confession to Raku. So I'm pretty sure Raku is going to really kind of figure everything out. I think he already made up his mind. So I really do think the author is really setting up for Shitake for the win. I really do think a lot of the the development between Chitoge and Raku are just not for waste. I think they really did feel like, okay, Chitoge is going to win this, so let's start planting the seeds. Let's start really making it believable, and let's make it a little twist and all that stuff. So as much as I, before used to always say that Onodera was probably going to be the end girl, even though I wanted Chitoge to win, I really do believe now that Chitoge is going to definitely win, and Onodera is going to be, she's not the one that Raku loves anymore. It'd be, if he does end up loving her and actually goes with Onodera, then that's it is what it is. But I really do believe that the author is really setting up for Chitoge to be the winner on all this, and I think Chitoge has really done a lot too. I think she really has. I mean, she needs to tell her feelings. Anybody in real life needs to just let out their feelings and let people know like how they feel, and if they really do care about, if they really do want. You have to gain your own happiness. I mean, I know you're hurting. You don't want to hurt your friend, but you got to realize that those feelings are going to stay, and that's what Chitoge realizes, that those feelings are going to stay. That's why she left, because she couldn't handle seeing Raku and Onodera together. As much as she loves both of them as friends and stuff, she just couldn't do it. She just needed to go, and if that could have been at the end, the overall ending of the manga, where Raku and Onodera are together and Chitoge leaves because she just can't be when they're together. But that's not the case at this point, and I really do think Chitoge has given up quite a bit. I mean, she did it twice. She's really let Onodera take hold of this, to really embrace the love that she has for Raku. And the problem with Onodera is, as much as I love Onodera, I really like Onodera, she's too shy. She doesn't confess when she did the Orihime, basically, where she confessed to Raku when he wasn't even conscious. So the problem with Onodera is her friend was telling her, man, just you need to buck up, man. You need to just confess and really be aggressive towards Raku. I know that's not her character, but sometimes there is characters like that in anime that absolutely do kind of be aggressive and actually do something about it. I mean, my girl Hinata, when she did her famous confession scene for Naruto, who she risked her life. You never seen Hinata like that. I knew she was gonna go and jump in there against Pain because she was just worrying about Naruto-kun. But you just knew if Hinata loved Naruto that much, I knew that she wasn't just gonna sit there and watch Naruto be taken away. I knew she was gonna jump into that arena and in that battle, and she absolutely did. That's the same thing with Onodera. Hinata was definitely a shy character who always fainted. In the anime, she faints a lot more than in the manga. She's just kind of shy and blushes a lot. So that's the same kind of character traits that Onodera has. She doesn't blush a lot or faint or anything like that, but she's a little bit too shy, and she's very chummy with Raku. They have a great relationship. So I could see them being just friends, honestly. But if Raku does choose Onodera, it's it is what it is. But I think last chapter was definitely a win for Chitoge fans and Raku fans, and for me too. I mean, I want to see these two together, and I see a different perspective. I see the author really setting a lot of things up and really kind of hinting that, listen, Onodera's the promise girl, but that doesn't mean she's the one, So we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for listening on Dan Making Dan's Son. You can always find more of my videos on my channel. Like the video if you like it. Comment below. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. And subscribe to that channel. Would really appreciate it if you're a Nisekoi fan. If you love anything Nisekoi, just subscribe to the channel. I'm Dan Making Dan's Son. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you for all my subscribers, and thank you guys for the loyalties, the comments. Love to hear them. Love to hear all your guys' thoughts. And of course, I know you guys are going to throw more thoughts and theories down below. Do it. I say just do it. Shia LaBeouf. Okay, bye guys.